Who the hell writes things like this? Who's this guy? Why is he here? So we're just cutting to here now. Why not? They couldn't even write the animals well. How does that make any sense? How could he be there now like this?
No,
just take
not.
Who's this guy?
How people act.
Fuck me. What did I just watch?
I understand how hard it is to make a movie. I really do. I've written my fair share of scripts, raised middling budgets from stolen tax returns, and had projects fall apart based on a single night of liquor and pills. This is why I fully support what writer-director Don Suenos is trying to do. I may not have seen his other work, but I was impressed with the way he created an odd, offbeat comedy that didn't reek of the pretentious doucheness that other indie filmmakers end up wallowing in. I hope to see more of his work. Honestly, I do. I believe he has it in him to make that out-of-nowhere comedy darling that worms its way into the public heart. That is, as long as the public isn't occupied with disasters in third world countries, racist cooking show hosts, or attractive white people murdering their children. You know, basically, the news. I need it to be known up front that I do have respect for this man. Because I'm about to shit all over his movie. Let's talk about the story first. Okay. Ready? There's no fucking story. There. Done. Marie, a maid, who's played by Carrie Lendo, is hired by a random stranger to clean his house while she's walking down the street. Something to which she agrees to despite all common sense. After that, a bunch of jumbled garbage happens as she experiences a 69-minute runtime. She doesn't learn anything, she doesn't teach anything. The only reason ridiculous shit happens is to keep the movie flowing so our main character can stare blankly at what's happening and spurt lines like it's coming from a fucking Daria fanfic. But I know what you're saying. The story isn't the point. It's the humor and the characters that pull the movie together. Not that this reasoning is ever accepted for a mainstream film. Movies like Meet the Millers try this very thing and get ass-fucked by the critics, but sure, let's roll with it. So how does Pictures of Superheroes utilize its humor? Is it enough to keep people like me from becoming so bored that finding the nearest sharp object, jamming it into my abdomen, and pulling up is a better use of my 69 minutes? In order to laugh at this movie, you have to stretch your disbelief further than a fucking Stretch Armstrong, I guess. I don't know, you ever pull one of those bastards too far? I mean, it's really fun watching someone let go and hit themselves in the nuts. So yeah, that's what this movie does with its humor. At first I thought that Phil, played by Brian Brown, had Asperger's based on the way he spoke to his girlfriend Marie. I felt similarly about Eric, played by Shannon McCormick, and Joe, played by John Merriman, when they were introduced, but it turns out this film just confuses mental retardation for quirkiness. This is apparently a universe where men can survive by eating dust from a vacuum cleaner, and a woman's only response to creepy bald men chasing them down the street is to ask them passive questions. There's a part where Marie asks what Eric did for a living. With the shiftiest look you can imagine, he says that he owns a business that does business. This is a good enough response for the always logical Marie, who still goes with him, fully believing that she'll be paid in money and not rape. Marie is supposed to be the only person with some semblance of sanity as the story's way to point out the humor and absurdity within each situation. But she's hampered by the script's padding. So many scenes get their points across with a few lines. Yet Marie still has to ask, what? Or, why? After every sentence to make the runtime longer than a Dr. Seuss holiday special. Normally I wouldn't bitch about this shit. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World had its own crazy video game universe, and shoot-'em-up's physics only makes sense if it took place on the fucking moon. But to get into this wacky universe, you need well-balanced gags and actors talented enough to walk the line between reality and absurdity. It doesn't help that the writing keeps the jokes going well past their punchline, but I doubt this cast could tell a fucking knock-knock joke, let alone deliver carefully crafted comedy. I would be hesitant to recommend this film to anyone unless they're really into avoiding anything mainstream. Enjoying this movie requires ignoring glaring flaws and choosing to enjoy the concept of what's there, rather than what's actually on the screen. Anyone who prides themselves on watching a movie like this could probably find a way to justify the Nazis' final solution. Pictures of Superheroes isn't a great film, but it's not bad either. It has a lot of potential that wasn't fully realized, and with a tighter script or a shorter runtime, this movie could have been watchable. As is, it's a baffling series of events that culminates into a huge fuck you for those who stuck around to see the credits roll. Most people will find more enjoyment cleaning their shower or grooming their fucking ass hair than sitting through Pictures of Superheroes. Maybe next time Don Suenos will make something that I can laugh with instead of at. Or maybe he'll fuck up again and I'll hate him. And fucking call him John Stamos. Only time will tell.
This article was written for the Slack-Jawed Punks. Read more shit by them, or me, at slackjawedpunks.com. You can also hear their podcast over there or on iTunes, as well as more episodes of my show on iTunes or Stitcher. You can also write me at wdijwpodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions, concerns, hate mail, you know the normal spiel. Until next time, adios guys.